Hi everyone, it's Saul Moraney from Johannesburg, South Africa. And today I have a special treat for you and a special treat for me. I have on the call Bonnie Sainsbury. Bonnie is an awesome woman from Canada. Bonnie's been rated in the top list of social media commentators and activists for quite some time. And I follow Bonnie closely. She always seems to have just amazing updates and new stuff. And Bonnie, thank you so much for making the time to speak to me today. I really do appreciate it.
Wow, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. A little while ago, we spoke and we spoke about Twitter, and I know that's one of your favorite social media outlets, which is Twitter. And how have you been keeping since then? Just a bit of a catch up. What have you been keeping? What's been going on with you? And have you noticed with social media going at the moment? Do you still see so many changes? And how are you able to keep on top of everything with how everything's changing all the time?
Well, I follow, there's a certain number of people that I follow. I do research mostly on Twitter. And so I have a number, I use lists on Twitter. So lists is segmenting people that you follow so that you're able to go right to that number of people. I usually try to keep it to about 20 to 25 so that you're able to keep up with their conversations. And I know who to trust and who not to trust. So that's how I keep up. And I follow them probably 3 times a day. I go on to Twitter. I check these lists to see what they're talking about. I don't always agree with them, but for the most part, it's an interesting conversation. And the other thing that I regularly follow is tweet chats. Very few people use those, and it's a very, very good way to first keep up to date in a niche. And the second is to make contact with people, because you're having a conversation using hashtags. And that's one of the really interesting ways to use hashtags. Normally, a tweet chat is a half an hour. It could be 45 minutes long. The moderator asks a question, makes a statement, and then everyone who's following that particular hashtag can either ask a question, make an observation. And it's as I said, an excellent way to have a conversation, to meet people who are leaders in your niche.
Wow, that's so interesting. I have seen that mentioned, and I've been on 1 or 2 of those chats myself. It's very interesting, as you say. It's just that there are people from all over the world, and I think for you, I mean, I saw recently, and I posted it, there were those pictures of those little ducks, and you were mentioned in the top list again. And yeah, I mean, it's so important that we've always taken literally almost what's published in a book to be factual, but online, as you've said before, is that not everything's factual, and it's important to be noticing the right people and to be using your time properly. I know that Facebook has also got some great options, like yourself and 1 or 2 other people, that are important sources of information. I'm able to put your Facebook comments on top of my Facebook timeline. So it always makes it, I'll always notice what you say when I come in. And it's very, very interesting to know that this sort of stuff exists. I mean, I always say that it's similar to Microsoft Excel. Like, I use Microsoft Excel, but I'm probably using maybe 5 or 6%, and that's able to do what I need. But I know that there's so much in Microsoft Excel that I'm not using that I should use, and I should take that time, maybe even buy like a Excel for Dummies, something like that, because there are such great functions. And just what I've noticed about you, that you've always been so consistent, which is amazing to see. I know that we go through, like, we can have health issues, or we can have a family issue, and some days we don't feel like even going into the computer, but you've been so consistent, and I know that you schedule your posts, and it's just really wonderful to see. And Bonnie, what I've always try to do since I've come online is just to notice new trends that are happening. And I contacted you late last week, and thank you for the opportunity. I wanted to talk to you just for a few minutes about Periscope. I know that you're very busy, and you've agreed to speak to me for a few minutes. I put together this new booklet on Periscope because I've noticed that some of the thought leaders in the niches that I'm interested in, for example, there's a guy called Grant Cardone and Marlon Sanders and a few of these other guys that are starting to use it. Periscope, from what I understand, was purchased by Twitter not long ago, and it's actually been only made available even earlier this year to the public. What are your initial feelings about this Periscope technology? And people at your level and your peers, are people very excited about it? What's your take on Periscope being so new?
Well, I was excited about it because video, definitely, in the mobile world, video is something that's important. Even if you're online with a laptop, which I am most of the time, video is important. And I have a number of people that I follow on YouTube. Now, even though I'm not obviously a 14-year-old girl, who are usually the ones that are following YouTube stars, I follow two people in particular. One is, they're both English adventure, I think they're called adventure or travel vloggers. One is Ben.
I'm sorry, are you there, Bonnie? Your sound seems to have disappeared. Can you hear me? Oh, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe you can just try plugging your earphones in and out. I'm not sure, but oh, I can see you're on mute. Do you want to try unmute yourself there?
Happened.
Oh, we're back. We're back. Okay, good. Sorry about that.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so you were talking about the travel vloggers that you follow.
Okay, so I'm following these two travel vloggers, and they post every day between 10 and 15 minutes, and you get to live vicariously through a 30-something English guy who does very, very interesting things. Actually, two of them. One is Ben Brown, and the other is Louis Cole. And they have millions of subscribers. Most of them are very young girls, but I see Louis in particular is getting skewing slightly older. So how does that relate to Periscope? That the fact that you can very simply, through my phone, I actually I had it on my phone. It takes up an awful lot of bandwidth, and I have probably about 500 people that I follow. Just like everything else I do, I go into it wholeheartedly. And it comes up and tells me when people are online. Now, the bad part of Periscope is people are using it as a video selfie. So that's just a waste of bandwidth. So you have to sort of weed through the people who are providing value versus the ones that are, I mean, they aren't even showing you brunch. All they're doing is just going on because they can. So right. That's the bad part. The good part is that you can be spontaneous. So if you're a brand, for instance, I mean, if you're a charity and you have a run in Canada. 5K walks, 5K runs are very popular to raise money. So you could be there live with, there's a couple of runs around Stanley Park. Stanley Park is very famous. It's right on the ocean. It's just a beautiful spot, so that you could have people involved that are not there with something like Periscope. If you're having a product launch is another way that you could use something like Periscope. It's very easy for me as someone who is a reader or a watcher to be able to see that you're online. So there are some similarities to what's the word? Google Hangouts, which is what we're using right now. But we had to schedule the Hangout. We are on, I'm not sure, we could potentially be live on YouTube, but wading through YouTube to try to find a conversation, our conversation sort of accidentally, would be fairly difficult. On Periscope, it is very, very easy because it's people I follow, and then I see who's on. I can see who's on Periscope right now. So that's what's very, very exciting. What kind of content you have is going to be whether or not this survives as a business tool.
Interesting.
I don't know. What are you finding?
I agree with you. I like that it's spontaneous, and I like that it's unscripted, and I like that people are able to live vicariously exactly what you're saying. And for particular people that I admire, that I watch, I like it that it's unscripted. I find that the Periscope episodes are usually pretty short, which are nice. It's nice to see the interaction happening in real time, because I was reading a very interesting article. Google Hangouts does not offer that conversation in real time, and it's on the mobile, so people are on their mobile, and the technology is fantastic. So it's something that's new. I still find it interesting, like an actual Periscope. We know what a Periscope is. I'm sure I made them when I was a kid with my brother, and obviously you would know what a Periscope is as well, and it makes sense. I mean, I think it's a clever name, that it actually literally allows you to look around the corner, or to look up from like to a higher level, and that's what this allows you to do. So it allows you to get into the people's into people behind the scenes, as you said, and I like it that it's unscripted. I like it that people are looking to feel like a community, so you can get to get a good feel for someone who you are interested in. And it's very simple to use as well. I mean, I put together this booklet that really just shows how to use it, but just by skimming it, you'll be able to use it. So I like that it's very intuitive. And I mean, you would know better than me, because I don't read it in depth, but is it correct to say that Twitter's been, as a company, I saw that it's had a bit of a management shake-up, and I guess Twitter's trying to remain to remain one of the big ones like Facebook and Pinterest and YouTube and all of these. Do you think that that Twitter obviously they've thought this out, but I mean, just from your gut feel, why do you feel that Twitter has gone for an acquisition like this, and what do you think perhaps could be their bigger goal in Periscope?
Well, I think a lot of people don't get Twitter. They just don't understand how to use it. I buy just as much from Twitter, see someone's offer there. It has to be well crafted, but I buy just as much from Twitter as I do from email. So, and I tend to buy from people I trust, from probably from someone I've already bought from, and I buy the way I tell my clients that they are to put their offers out. I buy the $9 offer first. If I get exceptional value, then I'll buy the $97. Sometimes I'll go from the $9 right to the $497. But nevertheless, I don't usually go. No, in fact, I've never gone to the $497 or higher purchase from a total stranger, even though I've been following them. So, and in fact, I just bought something from, actually it was a Twitter product from another Twitter expert, but it was $19, and it turns out she saved me probably 4 or 5 hours worth of research, maybe even more. So yeah, even someone like me buys product. Now this person also provides incredible information. I mean, I trust this person, and it was a $19 product, like I say. So a lot of people aren't doing that. They aren't making those kinds of offers on Twitter. They're not getting their message out. They're not being consistent. Even, if you, maybe you can't do 4 or 5 tweets a day, maybe you can only do 1, but you should nevertheless be consistent. And I've said that from the very beginning. So in terms of Periscope, it's going to appeal to the Snapchat crowd, to people who, which tends to be skew a little young. I think I've never used Snapchat. I think it's sort of a waste of time, which I think is a generational thing. Yeah. But I would use Periscope, and when it first came out on Android, I put it up. There were too many. It was clogging up my my phone, so I took it off again. And like I say, I went and added about 500 people, and I was not careful about who I added because I didn't understand that every time one of these people goes onto Periscope, it was going to show up on my phone. So,
it's like, exactly. It's even like that. You got to be careful of being on too many email lists, because then you get so many emails. Yeah. Exactly what you're saying. So with Periscope, I guess it can be a bit of a distraction throughout the day that you don't want that to be coming on your phone, but you can manage that. You can yes. manage with those notifications. So you saw that, and I mean, it's great technology. It's amazing how they've been able to program something that works in real time. But I mean, what do you think is the main reason why Periscope has come into the picture now from Twitter? I mean, obviously they've got a huge team and they think these things through, but is it to personalize the people that you're following on Twitter in a way?
Yes, I think so. And it's also a way to publish video. So I don't know if publishing video, I've understood for a couple of years, at least a couple of years, how important it is that you publish video, that it can't just be text anymore. It's got to be video. But publishing video has been until now a task that's very time consuming, that requires an awful lot of talent if you're going to be editing video. To this day, I don't edit video. I start all over again. Right. So what that does is it means my videos have got to be less than 10 minutes long, because you don't do a half-hour video, find out that you flubbed at 20 minutes and do it again. I mean, you just don't. So that's, I think all of this goes back to publishing video, creating video. for some kinds of video, I'm a Windows person, so I use the slides, PowerPoint. My friend who's a Mac person uses Keynote, and we're creating videos using that software, because you can add your own, you speaking, you can add what looks like slides, use the animation software, you can add other kinds of videos. So now you can publish 10 or 15-minute videos without any, without much talent as a videographer. Videographers are also very, very expensive. They're very talented, but they're also very expensive. So now, as we're talking, I'm just thinking Periscope, I give tips all the time. I mean, that's what I do. That I could use Periscope to give a tech tip every day.
Right.
That would be really easy for me, right? I just do a little bit of research, see what's new in the world today. I could talk, for instance, today about the fact that there's a giant security hole in Android. So, and the fact that Google has fixed it. So I have a Nexus phone, so I'll get the fix before, say, Samsung or a hardware, someone who has other kinds of hardware, because Google has pushed it out to the hardware dealers, but the hardware dealers, the hardware companies now have to push it out to your phone. So that's a big deal when you consider what kind of a phone you're going to have, right? I mean, it's everything is all connected. So I live with a Nexus phone that doesn't have a very good battery, because I get software fixes before anybody else. So in this case, I get that update before other people. There's other reasons, but it's all connected. And as a business owner, you have to think about something besides, is it the skinniest phone out there? Is it pretty? Is it, some of the reasons why people buy a smartphone. So something like tips you could use for Periscope, and then hopefully people would pay attention the same way they do to my Facebook and to my Twitter feeds.
Right. Well, I'm sure they will. And I like what you're saying there, is that what's nice about Periscope is that automatically these videos render. So you don't need to wait for long. They'll automatically render, and then you can put them even onto your YouTube channel, or you can put them onto Facebook, or you could put them onto your blog, wherever you want. I think what I like what you're saying is that it doesn't need to be that professional and that polished, because of being on the Periscope platform. It's excusable to be unscripted, and it doesn't need to be fancy. People aren't looking for that. I like what you say, that the chunkable and bite-sized information is huge, because people are so bogged down. I mean, even for me, I've got articles that I want to read, and I don't have time to get through all these articles, where, like you, I invest in myself. This weekend, I didn't purchase it, but someone gave me a review copy of a brand new Facebook advertising course, which were 12 videos of about 20 minutes each, and I loved it, and I learned a lot. And I really, because I've been wanting to use Facebook video ads, and just from the videos, it helped me a lot. And again, these videos were a lot more professionally laid out, and they had all the graphics, and they had music, etc. But Periscope doesn't need that, because of the it's the content that's coming through. So I like exactly what you say, and I agree with that. And it's something that's new. What's nice is that it's really simple to use it, and once it's great for credibility, it's great for consistency. Exactly what you say. I know that we don't have much longer, but just if we could just think a little bit laterally, I think it would be fun, because I was thinking before I got you on the call, that I do internet marketing, and I do stuff which is on Warrior Plus, which there's a lot of over 6,000 people at all time always looking around there, and JB Zoo. So, you give tips. I mean, for an internet marketer like myself, that I guess let's just think of a few ideas of how I could use Periscope. I guess I could come on and give one or two ideas of new products that I've seen, one or two ideas of trends, some mistakes that I see people that are making new and interesting stuff. I guess so tips could be great. I guess a community could also be nice, because people like to feel that they're part of a community and they can get to know me for a little bit behind the scenes. It could be used in product launches. So I've got a product launch coming out. I could give behind the scenes and leading up to the product launch. I wonder if it would be beneficial to give a little bit of personal information that could also be quite worthwhile, because people want to get to know who they're giving their money over to. Is this the sort of person that you share the value with? I mean, I know that you're big into women's rights, and I've been watching, I don't know if it's, I watched the South African CNN, which is I think it's part of European, but I see they're talking a lot about human trafficking and child trafficking, which is, you can give even opinion. So people will resonate with you more on a personal level, and see if the values are correct, then it could be someone that you could bond with. If you were going to do a Periscope, how would you let people know? Would you announce it on Twitter? Would you announce it on Facebook? How would you try to get a bit of a interaction going? You seem to be on mute again. Are you on mute? Just check. I can't hear you. I think you may be on mute again. Just if you want to just check that quickly. I'm battling to hear you. I think you may be on mute, or maybe your microphone's just slightly out the computer. I don't hear you. You can hear me. I can't hear you. Not sure why. Just maybe just pull out your speaker and put it back in. Maybe that will work. I will edit this, so you don't have to worry about that. Hello? I can't hear you. I don't know why. There we go. Try talking. Ah, there you are. I can hear you. No, I can't hear you. I thought I could. Sorry. Do you want to maybe click out and come back in? Oh, there. Something happened there. Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay,
great. Don't worry. Okay, we'll edit that out. Okay, good. So
sorry, I've got too many.
Not to worry. We won't be long. So You can
Okay,
just
I was just thinking.
I was just no. I'll edit that out. You don't have to worry about that.
Thank you.
So I just asked you. Would you let people know on Facebook and Twitter that you're going to be broadcasting? So you can just continue from there, and I'll edit that out.
Okay. Yes, I would. So what I'm thinking for you, because you're now, you know, so many people in the JV Zoo, in the Warrior Forum niche, because you've been now up to 2 conferences, one in LA and the other one in, was it Liverpool? It was in
Liverpool.
England somewhere. Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're getting to be an expert. Why don't you do product reviews? So there you are as an affiliate for, I mean, you sell other people's product too, besides your own. So your Periscope, why isn't it a product review? So that would be the equivalent of building an email list and then sending out, because I've got a couple of people that I follow their email list, because there's no way that I could go through new products on Warrior Forum, JV Zoo, any of them. I don't have the time to do that. So I rely on other people to do recommendations. And really what they're doing is affiliate marketing.
Right. So that would be a great point. I mean, I do have a blog, and I do video review. I do product reviews, but that could be a great avenue to be able to do the product reviews on Periscope. I can have interaction, so people can be asking questions live. Do you think it would be important maybe to have it a couple of days a week and have it at a consistent time, so people can get used to that time, and then I can even advertise it? You can make a nice little advertising on Facebook and or wherever, and then it will grow.
Yeah. Can you? No, you can't advertise. You can't have 2 people in 2 separate locations.
You can't at the moment, but I would be able to certainly to talk about it and to give a little bit of a review, and then I could lead people to a web page to be able to go like saulmoraney.com/Bonnie or whatever that would be. So that could be great. So it could be for product reviews. I guess it could be also for inspiration, because we look for inspiration. Everyone looks for inspiration. I mean, today is a cold Monday. In Johannesburg, it wasn't a simple day, as Mondays usually aren't for me. But through Monday now, it's 7:30 p.m. and maybe a bit of inspiration could also be great, even a quote, or just to be able to do a show. So, Bonnie, I really appreciate you talking to me. You being, you are one of the people that I get excited to see online, because just the way that you handle yourself online, and I know that everything is so ethical. The way that you market, it's not so simple to find people that you can respect online. But I noticed that how well that you've been doing, and I guess that if the mighty Twitter putting their name towards something, they've thought it out, and they are obviously very, very smart people, that they know what they're doing. Do you think that Periscope is here to stay? And do you think that, like, besides Meerkat, etc., do you think that we're going to see a lot of competition springing up?
I think so, yes. I mean, there are a number of there's a number of apps where you can create these 2 or 3 minute videos using your phone. So, and then they create the video for you. You can put it up to YouTube or put it on, publish it wherever you like. And like I say, a video is not going to go anywhere. The other place that video is very important is for landing pages and websites. I also design websites, and websites are now moving away from that 8 or 10 page content-filled website to really landing pages. Your homepage better be a landing page. It better be a sales page. Otherwise, people are going to go away. So almost every website that I do has some kind of video on it. And lately, it's been video that the the customer has created themselves rather than going into someone's studio. So I can't see this going away. Unless something besides video comes along and is more important. But I think that the rest of the crowd is now moving into creating and publishing their own video, which is very, very important.
Interesting. So that's great. It's great news, that, Bonnie, and I really appreciate your time. You've given me your opinion. I had a feeling what your opinion was going to be, but you confirmed it, which is great. I like what you say. There's a few wonderful points that you
excuse me.
No problem. There's a few wonderful points that you've made tonight, and that is that it's here to stay, and it's almost unrehearsed, and it's even like a little bit raw, which is nice. I like that. So for someone like myself that makes mistakes or that isn't a professional actor, and I've got Camtasia and a few other little tools, but I don't do major editing. I can get away with that on this platform, which is great. So it doesn't need to be tons of editing work. And as you say, I mean, I've priced some of these video people, they just off the charts. I mean, like actually unaffordable for small guys like myself. But Periscope is something that's here. I think what's amazing is that like my daughter, who's just turned 13, she does Snapchat. I've never tried it. I've seen it, but it's interesting that, and what I say in my report, it's almost like Skyping meets Snapchat, but it's something that is here. I think that it's like everything else, is that if we embrace it and we use it, we may not see obviously results overnight in terms of dollars, but everything adds up. And I know that you've been chosen, and you're very highly rated in terms of the social media because you have been so consistent. You've got a strong voice, and that Periscope will allow all of us to be able to do this. And it's something that I'm very excited about. So Bonnie, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me. It means a lot to me, and I really do appreciate it. For anyone that's been watching this interview, and what if you could just leave us one final thought on consistency and social media and how to make it effective, what would that thought be from your high level of consulting and being a leader in the space?
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I can't.
No problem. No problem. But can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Sorry.
No problem. I think. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me at all?
I can hear you.
You can? No.
And you can hear me? I will send it to.
Bye.
Bye. So everyone, this has been Saul Moraney from Johannesburg, South Africa. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my great interview with Bonnie Sainsbury. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you're going to start putting Twitter into use, and add me on. So there we go, guys. Thank you so much for buying my Periscope manual. I hope that you take advantage of Periscope, start using it. When you come online, please add me, Saul Moraney, you'll find me. And if there's anything I can help you with, please let me know. I've been talking to Bonnie Sainsbury today, a wonderful leader in social media, and it's been a great opportunity. So we'll speak to you all soon. Saul Moraney from Johannesburg, South Africa, and be well.